Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the program. You're still with us here on the C Morning Show, and it is just past 8 in the a.m., and it's time for the second discussion of the day, Russia.
Yes, that's right, Paul. Paul, do you know that waste problem is actually still a crucial issue in Indonesia? And one of the biggest percentage of waste in Indonesia is actually organic waste.
Wow, that is really something to take note of. So to discuss more on this matter, we have here with us this morning Magalarva founder Rendria Labde, who will explain more about sustainable animal feed using black soldier fly larva. Now, interestingly enough, he was also included in the list of Forbes 30 Under 30 back in 2021. Welcome to the studio. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure.
Okay, cool. So tell us about Magalarva.
Okay, so Magalarva is we produce sustainable protein for animal feed by bioconverting food waste, organic waste. So we try to convert all the food waste to become the protein that eventually will go to animal feed.
Okay.
So we all know that food and plastic waste are a major contributors to global environmental crisis, and a lot of people are working on that, right? Now, any specific reasons as to why you choose to deal with food waste as opposed to plastic waste?
Okay, I think the simple answer to this is basically when we started the company, basically we know that for plastic waste, the solution is already there. Actually, recycling has been going on for like probably 20 plus years. Like everybody's already doing recycle, but at that point of time where we started the company, we see that for plastic waste, the players are already there. Like it's just a matter of trying to knit all the players together, like try to knit all the waste producer to the waste recyclers.
Got it.
But when we see that when we see the statistics for food waste, like it's like you said, like 60-70% of the waste of our country, developing country, is food waste. But like there is actually no solution. Like at the end of the line, there's no solution. So that's why we actually made the choice of, okay, this is actually a problem that needs a solution.
Okay.
So how does your company solve this problem?
Okay, basically what we do is so we use this very amazing species called black soldier fly. It's actually a fly species, basically. It's just like one of
Your typical black fly, right? That
No.
we see?
No, it's different than your usual fly. Like
Okay.
flies, like fly species, you probably have like hundreds of species of flies. But what we see is usually like house flies.
Yes.
We call it house flies,
Right.
like like a fruit fly, for instance. But it's really different than that. Like it's harmful. It's harmless. It doesn't go near like people, human in that sense. But how do we solve food waste problem? Basically, what we do is we farm flies.
Okay.
We farm flies. If you
Most people are trying to get rid of flies. You guys actually
Yeah.
farm them.
If you go to our, like we call it like our factory or like slash farm, we have the breeding cage and everything. So basically we have like thousands or millions of flies there, and basically in their phase of larva, in their stage of larva, they will eat all food waste that is actually available for them. So we do all like this plastic container stacking, and we get all the food waste from like hotels, restaurants, factories, all those stuff, and we get it to our factories, and then like basically we feed it to the larva.
So in just its raw form like that, the waste that you get,
Yeah.
you're able to just feed
Yeah.
them with that.
Yeah.
And then do you turn it into a business from that?
Yeah, okay. So basically, all the food waste basically becomes like the food for the larva. Just like your usual farm, you have to feed them, right? You have to feed them something. So we feed them food waste, and then basically the larva becomes from like, we call it like the baby larva. They eventually become like adult larva.
Okay.
The adult larva is actually this product right here. So it will become very high in protein. Basically, the protein can actually be used for animal feed, and we sell it at this point to like fish, for koi fish, and we also export the product to several different countries.
Okay,
as
now-
pet food.
So your business turns this organic waste, use the black soldier fly,
Yeah.
and turns them into animal feed which is very high protein.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. basically.
So I learned a little bit from Bear Grylls. I know that when you're out in the wilderness and you have nothing to eat, sometimes larva is very high in protein.
Yeah, it's very high in protein.
So what are the benefits of feeding this and feeding this particular feed, and what sort of animals? Like, are they can they be used for pets, or can they be used
Yeah.
for like industrial feeds for those that are, that are breeding certain animals?
First, just want to comment on your Bear Grylls reference. So if you know from Bear Grylls, you can actually eat this stuff actually. Like
Yes,
like,
for humans, right?
Yeah. So like after the session, if you want to eat it,
Ah.
I can give you.
With warm rice.
I might even do it on air, depending on how this conversation goes.
So
Okay.
this can be eaten by human as well.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, it's perfectly safe. It's for us. Like, we do a lot of cleanings. We do very high temperature, like cooking and everything, the drying, all this stuff. Like, we eat it all the time in like a factory. Like, if we have guests coming in, like,
Yeah.
we just do we just
Pop this open right now.
we
Okay, sure.
That's open.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do a demonstration, Paul.
There you go.
Okay, I want to
Never
try
see
as well.
live larva eating.
I'm a high protein girl. You know, I eat very high protein, so.
Wow, I'm surprised. Hey, actually, it actually tastes like just a typical snack.
Yeah.
It's actually good, right?
Yeah.
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 It is actually good.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like fried
It's a little
bawang.
bit like it's very light. Yeah, it's like fried shallots. Correct.
Yes,
That's what it tastes
yes.
like. So they are nutritious and it can be fed for anyone. So
Any kinds of animals, basically. But I mean, like, it's at this point it's more popular around like the pet food area. But like currently now we're trying to penetrate like the aquaculture first. Like, I think at the top we're trying to penetrate the pet food. I think they are more accepting towards like new products, like new premium products, like new products. But at this point of time, we're trying to penetrate the aquaculture stage as well.
So good for fish.
So in terms of business, though, do you find difficulties in educating farmers that this is actually a better alternatives for their usual, animal feed? And also, what are the are there any advantages in terms of cost when using this as the animal feed?
Yeah, I mean, like we find it not very easy, very easy to actually convert like farmers because like I think farmers in Indonesia they rely a lot on like culture. They rely a lot on like how their ancestors do it. And
They don't like change.
They don't
right?
like change.
Yes.
Right? Like so,
Correct.
basically, like doing this, like there's a lot of change in them and everything. So that is actually pretty challenging. But for your second question was what was the second question?
Are there any advantages in terms of
there are
economic
advantage,
costs
of course, yeah.
for the farmers?
So basically, the advantage of this is I think if I have to talk about this, it's going to go for a little while as well. But basically, the existing protein that they are currently using, they have their own problems as well because like it's hard for the supply
For the feed, right? For regular animal feed.
yeah, for the feed at this point, like the protein is hard to get.
Right.
Like they have to import it from like Peru, like all this stuff. And the supply is getting lower and lower, but the demand stays, so the price goes up and
Right.
everything.
It makes our food prices go up, by the
Of
way.
course.
That's another side.
Yeah, of course. And
fact of it.
the advantage of it is for the nutrition part of it. They have this very specific fatty acid content that actually increases the immunity of all the animal
really?
being fed of it. Like they trigger a lot of they stimulate a lot of immune reaction for like for shrimps, for cats, for dogs, and all those stuff. And it's hypoallergenic for cats and dogs. The hypoallergenic is basically they don't cause any allergic because it's a novel protein, we call it.
Wow.
It's almost like the black fly are doing a process, like they're doing protein synthesis for us using food waste. Because if you can use any food waste and they can convert it into larva, then it's doing this conversion for you.
Like food waste is actually food.
Yes.
Like from nutrition perspective, right?
Yeah.
Food waste is actually like it's the same protein. Like if you throw in like chickens to the waste, it's still the same protein that is being
Correct.
wasted. So
Yes.
they're basically, like you said, like they're doing all the synthesis for us.
That's
and then
amazing.
we try to put it back in the like circular loop. Basically,
I want to touch on the other side of this, which is handling the food waste problem. We've had a couple guests in the past that have some solutions in regards to handling food waste. But again, when we talk about supermarkets or the F&B or hotel industry, there's just so much food out there. How much of an impact do you have an idea that you have made so far? Like how many different companies have you worked with in order for you guys to kind of arrange this exchange system?
Yeah.
For food waste?
Currently, the last time we checked, since the beginning of our time in Magalarva, we have processed over 3,000 up to 4,000 tons of food waste.
Okay.
At this point of time, we're doing probably around like 150 to 200 tons a month of food waste processed. Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, a lot of different companies have been working with us. Like I don't know if I can mention some brands.
Yeah.
Like we're working with Indo Milk as well for their like expired food, expired milk, all this stuff, and Chimori as well, like all
So
similar
liquids
stuff.
as well. I never
The
thought
liquids, yeah, we can just formulate it in our factory, like combine it with a lot of solid stuff and everything.
Amazing,
But,
because-
like, we're working with hotels also.
Yeah, you're mentioning as well some of the foods that easily expire, and we always wonder what
course,
to do with
yeah.
it. When you have bad milk in the fridge, you
Yeah.
can't do anything with
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
And
exactly.
you mentioned in developing countries, 70% of the waste is actually organic waste.
Yeah.
Now, talking about that food waste awareness among the public, what do you currently do to raise the awareness about that?
I think the awareness, like I'm gonna be honest, like we're not doing a lot of things of this, because I think doing educations, like it takes so many resources and probably like it really changes the fundamentals, like sustainably, if we can change someone's behavior. But in terms of like the resource that we have now, like we want to put our resource where it actually impacts the most. Like
Yeah.
I think the same amount of resource, the same amount of people that we're working that are currently working on this, we're trying to make the most out of like the tonnage of waste that we can do. Like we go a lot with the governments, like we go maintaining relationship with the governments. We're doing like collaborations with the South Jakarta. We're doing with North Jakarta as well to get the food waste off their hands as well. But I mean, like, but we do actually have a product, have a service for hotels, like really retails, and also for households. Like it's called Compost Collective, where we actually do pick up their waste from their homes. But we try to service the people that actually already segregate their waste, but doesn't know what to do. Like, where do I put this food waste segregated?
Most people want to compost, but they don't want to have a compost.
Of
in
course,
their
yeah, because
backyard,
it's
right?
like it's smelly.
Yes.
Like they don't know what to do. Like they have to maintain it a lot, all those stuff. So
Yeah, and I think company perspective-wise, you're working with multi-stakeholders, literally from the waste suppliers to the farmers or people who owns the livestock, right? And also you need to, at the same time, educate people and collaborate with government as well.
Yeah.
What is your vision for Magalarva in the future?
So at this moment of time, what we're trying to do is we're trying to scale up our business, basically. When we scale up our business, the beauty of it is when we scale our business, the bigger the impact actually scale as well. So we're currently trying to fundraise and try to get some investments on the door, and because we have a lot of demands that we cannot fulfill at this point of time, when we can actually fulfill those demands, where we can actually process the food waste. And
The supply is there.
the supply
right?
is there.
The food waste will always be there.
The supply of food waste is probably around like 2,000 or 3,000 tons of food waste per day in Jakarta
day?
only. Like that's in Jakarta only. Probably like we're talking like almost probably 50,000 of tons of food waste in Indonesia, right? So basically the supply is there, like you said, like we already have the chain as well. But yeah, I mean, like currently now the demand is there as well. Like we're trying to get some investments.
Eventually, you guys can change your name to Magalarva when you get big enough. So, real quick, perhaps because you handle this issue so much, I'm sure you have some tips for some of our viewers at home as to how we can help reduce food waste.
I think for reducing food waste, all right, like I think the easiest that you can do is actually just segregate it first. I think the segregation is really like probably from the 100% of effort that you can do, segregation probably already like 70% of the thing the effort of that you can do, because there's I mean, like not only food waste, like plastic waste. I mean, like all of these companies that are actually handling waste, like I can actually say the same. Basically, will say the same thing. because like if you segregate it good enough, like there's a whole lot of different entities that actually wants to collect it from you. Like I want that from for us and everything. So I think that is probably the most like it seems quite simple, like people underestimate it all the time. But basically, you just have to segregate it. Like you can just find the right service like in your closest area.
Yeah, and if you can't, like I asked for help in my neighborhood for those that know, because I don't know. I just moved into a new neighborhood, and I have somebody. But you're right. I have to separate, make sure that certain things are clean. For example, bottles and plastic and cardboard. Just never knew what to do with my food waste. Everything else is pretty much handled. So
we found a solution now.
Exactly. So thanks a lot for dropping by, and good luck with Magalarva. Certainly makes for a good product and a decent snack as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's about does it for our talk show. I'm gonna have another one.
Yes.
What do you think?
That's it. Oh yeah, sure.
Oh,
I
bottoms
love
up.
this. Yeah, it's like fried shallot, right? Amazing.
Put it on your rice.
All right, guys, that was our interview with the founder of Magalarva. We're now gonna move on to our short break, but when we come back, we'll have more interesting features from Indonesia. Stay tuned with us, only on the C Morning Show. We'll be right back.